that's the beauty of Ghana. And so when I listen to people on the fringes from the Muslim side and from the Christian side, I think that they don't understand Ghana. The state's intervention and recognition of the 24th December, 25th December, 26th December as Christmas days, which are holidays, confer a right on everybody living in Ghana to participate in the festivities, to enjoy the holidays. And the state again has made it possible for all of us to unite and enjoy Eid al-Adha and Eid al-Fitr.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know why people would say that this is, today nobody's at work.
Yeah.
Do you know how much money we are sacrificing for everybody to enjoy these festivities? And so, it is intended for all of us as Ghanaians to celebrate the birth of Christ. And what better way to enjoy the festivities with your Christian brothers? I'm a Muslim.
Yeah.
I know today my Christian brothers are celebrating a very important festival, a religious festival. And it is important that I demonstrate that camaraderie with them. I mean, I show some understanding of the faith and respect their faith, and also enjoy with them. In fact, our religion teaches us to have Christians as friends.
Yeah.
Okay, to eat with them. I mean, when they kill for Christmas, except that our religion says when they're going to kill and you are a Muslim and you know that you'll be invited to partake in the food, go kill the animal for them.
Oh, rather?
Yes, kill the animal so that the animal then becomes halal for you to eat.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and let them bring the food to your house. I mean, if you are going to enjoy with them after celebrating with them, if they are going to serve you, let them serve you in your home.
Oh.
Okay, so I mean, there's nothing that prevents you from celebrating Christmas with your Christian friend.
So that's
there's a lot of ignorance, which has informed some religious behavior. It's born out of total ignorance. First, you cannot be a true Muslim if you don't recognize Jesus as a prophet.
Yeah.
In Islam, Jesus is Anabi Isa, a prophet of God.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's no basis for animosity. Now, if you study religious history, it's also very, very clear that there's a certain bond between Christians and Muslims. Read the Quran. When God appeared unto Muhammad, peace be unto him, he was not sure that it was God which had appeared unto him. Why did he go for confirmation? He went to a Christian for confirmation that what he had seen was God. So even before Muhammad started his mission, the collaboration with Christians had started. You understand? So it is only ignorance which is leading or sometimes leads to this unnecessary tensions and so. Complete ignorance. People who call themselves bishops and archbishops and whatever, who don't understand the Bible, who know no religious history, and whose only interest is to collect as much money as possible from poor and vulnerable people so they can live like Arabian kings on earth. They are the source of the misinformation, which sometimes lead to apparent tensions between the different religions. But at the core of all religion is something which binds all of them. You understand? And you can do that for Hinduism, for all of that. If you study religion properly, there's a core, a thread, which binds all of them. You know, one of the misinformations, you hear all kinds of pastors, you know, who claim that they are committed to the state of Israel because Israelis are supposed to be the chosen people of God. And you hear that all the time. So even when there's genocide in Gaza, they will still support Israel and so on. What are the facts? Jesus Christ was a Palestinian. He was born in Bethlehem. Even as of today, Bethlehem is part of the state of Palestine. The Church of Nativity, where the wise men went with frankincense and so on, that Church of Nativity is in Palestine. And this explains why Pope Francis had a special affinity to Gaza and called Gaza every day before he died. During the crisis. Right. So ignorance destroys many things. Ignorance.
Yeah. So in the Quran we call Christians the people of the book. And so because they received revelations, Christians depend on the Bible, and the Bible is a revelation from God. Now, and the Bible is the Injil in Arabic and in Islam. Now, it's also important, like Mr. Kwesi Pratt has said, comrade. I didn't know that he's invested so deeply in religion, coming from a communist background. I didn't know he had invested that in. But the first hijrah, when the Prophet Muhammad proclaimed the religion of Islam in Mecca, and the Arabs were persecuting those who had converted to Islam, they wanted to run away and seek shelter from their persecutors. Where did they go to? They went to Ethiopia, to a Christian king. The first test. He said, "You people say you are being persecuted because of your religion." They said, "Yes." They said, "Yes, and your religion, your prophet has received revelations from God." They said, "Yes." "Can you recite some of the revelations from God?" They recited a verse of the Quran. The king was convinced that what was contained in the verse was indeed a revelation, and gave them sanctuary. So the first people who gave Muslims sanctuary from persecution were in Ethiopia, and they were not Muslims, they were Christians.
Right.
And so, like he said, ignorance is what is dividing the world. And I mean, this is a monotheistic religion. Whether it is Christianity or whether it's Islam, we look up to one God. In law we say is a procedure, the route that you will take to that one God that is different. Okay? And I mean, we even believe that the revelation in the Bible which says that a king shall come, yes, the spirit shall come, it refers to actually the Muhammad, the prophet of Islam. We also do not believe in Trinity. There are certain fundamental doctrines that we don't believe in, because God cannot inherit, God cannot reveal himself to us in the form of human. Okay, so these are the differences. That's what we believe. But we believe that Jesus was, like I said, I mean, you can't be a Muslim if you don't believe that Jesus Christ was a prophet of God. Or Moses was a prophet of God. You can't.
Also, besides the ignorance,
yes, mm-hmm,
there's the attempt by politicians and some priests to misuse religion in order to further their own interests. And I can give you many examples. The church was one. How did the church splinter into different, doctrines and so on? Politics. The King of England, at some point, wanted to divorce his wife and to remarry. Okay? And the church said it was against the doctrine of the church. I mean, divorce was against the doctrine of the church. So he broke away from Rome and formed the Church of England, which is today the Anglican Church, so that he can remarry. Because he was not having children, so that he can remarry and have children to continue the dynasty. That is how the church split. It's not about God. It's not about anything. It's about the King of England wanting to remarry. That's how you have the Anglican Church and the Catholic Church. Originally, it was the same church. You understand? And then the Bible. How come you have the King James Version? King James Version is not the version of God. It's the version approved by King James of England in order to further his political ambition, in order to enable him to live the kind of social life he wanted to live without restrictions from Rome. That's all. You understand? Now, some of the things which have been done in the name of the Bible and Christianity are horrendous. And Christ, Jesus Christ as Nazareth, as he's portrayed, as his life is portrayed and so on, would have rejected those practices which have been carried on in the name of Christianity. What are some of those practices? 1452. The year 1452. The Pope of the Catholic Church gave legal authorization to the King of Portugal to go out into the world and enslave non-Christians, seize their wives and property and so on. Do you think Jesus would have done this? But the Pope did it. And the Pope did it in furtherance of the empire-building enterprise of Portugal and other European powers. That's all. It has nothing to do with God.
For empire.
Had nothing to do with God. Pure politics.
At that time, the state and religion...
Politics and racism.
Racism.
Racism. Another doctrine of the church was the doctrine of vacant lands. It has some heavy Latin rendition. But the concept of vacant lands, and the idea was that places which were not occupied by Christians were to be regarded as vacant. So the empire builders from Europe and so on could go and seize them, occupy them, and capture their people as slaves and so on. Is this Christianity? Obviously not.
You don't even need to look far to know that Jesus would not have approved of such actions. He would take his actions in the church. Was it in the church in Jerusalem, where people had converted the church into a trading post, where beggars and others were sitting there, and many things were being done in the church other than the purpose for which the church was built. He whipped them. He whipped those people. I mean, out of the church. Now, out of the house of God. So, I mean, clearly you don't need to go far to know that Jesus would not have approved the enslavement of other people for political reasons and for the purposes of empire. But people have used religion that way. I mean, yesterday I was reading a book by Stephen Fish, and he said, look, argument from authority. I mean, so many people have used the church, which was the symbol of authority, as justification for certain atrocities which was carried out against us. I mean, when you ask why they did that, they say, oh, the church did. The church said we could do that. And then that's all. It's from, the argument from authority. It's authority who says that we should do that. And so sometimes you see the rhetoric doesn't appeal to conscience and it's not persuasive, but they appeal to authority, and so we accept it.
And you see, David, what is the essence of Christmas? There can be only one essence. This whole concept of Christianity, what is it about? When somebody says, I'm a Christian, what is he saying? all that he's saying or she's saying is that I want to be like Christ.
Yeah.
The whole concept of Christianity
Yeah.
is like being like Christ. Okay. Now, what is Christ like? What is Christ like is rebellion against authoritarianism.
Yeah.
Being Christ-like is to rebel against foreign imposition. Being Christ-like is a whole rebellion against the established order. Being Christ-like is about taking the cane and walking into the church and whipping those who have reduced the church
Into a trading post.
into a trading post. That's being Christ-like.
Yeah.
Okay? Being Christ-like is to reject racism. Above all, being Christ-like is to be willing to die so your neighbor can live. Look, he was crucified. Okay? He was crucified. According to the text, he died on the third day and ascended to heaven. That's the story. Is that not the story? And he did all of this so that his blood can wipe away the sins of mankind, so that ultimately, according to the story, we can all rise up and go to heaven and sit on the right side of God and drink honey and milk in perpetuity. Is that not the story?
Yeah.
So the essence of Christmas, the essence of Christmas is self-sacrifice for the general good. And self-sacrifice for the general good is not a principle that is just limited to Christianity. Indeed, it is in all religions and even non-religious institutions. To be a true Marxist, to be a true communist, you ought to be willing to die for the cause. You ought to be willing to sacrifice yourself, like Che Guevara did.
In fact, when you said
In fact, Che Guevara is Christ-like.
Yes, Che Guevara.
Fidel is Christ-like.
Yeah.
You understand?
Right.
Do I need to convince you that Kwame Nkrumah was Christ-like? So the essence of Christmas is to endeavor to be like Christ. You know. It depends on how you define spirituality.
Yeah.
But spirituality is that essence of a thing which is not expressed in physical form. So spirituality can become emotion. It can become an aggregate of feelings, which spring from what is physical and so on. That's spirituality.
It's for spirituality, to identify the humanity in persons. Just like the name. So this was called Jesus the Christ. So it's a Jesus Christ. So the religion after his birth took after his name. Okay? So Christianity came after the birth of Jesus Christ. Now, so when the religion took his name, he wanted some attributes to champion some values, some attributes, some norms of Jesus Christ. Non-discrimination. Look at the disciples of Jesus. Have you checked their backgrounds? They were not the wealthy society.
Yeah.
Some were fishermen.
Yeah.
He exhorted them to follow him, so that he will make
Fishers of men.
he will make him fishers of men. Some were sinners who were called Saul. But when they received the revelation, when they received Jesus Christ, they changed to Paul. They simply removed the S and put a P there. And then, somewhere people who terrorized Christians. Okay? But all this, what does it tell us? It tells us that Jesus appreciated the humanity, was welcoming, was willing to give people a second chance. Appreciated the inherent good of people. So when you say you are a Christian, you must endeavor to live the life of Christ. And it is not to say that it's impossible. And we're not saying that live the entire life of Christ, because you cannot change, you cannot use 4 loaves and fish to feed 4,000 people. You don't have that power.
Right.
Okay, or change water into wine. Okay, you have no power. Or heal the lepers. Okay, and the sick. You have no that power. But it means that when people are afflicted, I mean, those lepers were outcasts. They were not tolerated. They thought that they had been overcome by evil spirits. The fact that Jesus associated with them, healed them, sent a signal that these people were part of it. They were just afflicted by a sickness, and that sickness was curable.
Right.
Okay, right. So if we celebrate this day, we should remember that we are seeking to emulate the life of a person who walked this earth. The life of a person who was born miraculously. The life of a person, and like Comrade said, who was born in a manger. You know a manger? I mean, he was not born in the best of the king's palaces. He was born where you have urine and feces of donkeys. I mean, yes. And you see, because he was born in a miraculous way, and his birth had been foretold, he found the 3 wise men following the North Star, leading them to the manger,
right,
to see the king. So all life about Jesus Christ. And I say this, I mean, knowing full well that I'm a Muslim. For a few weeks ago, I said there was actually no problem if we thought if we put our if we want our mind into seeking to reconcile people in this country, to live together as brothers and sisters. I said it was not a court matter. It was just attitudinal. That we need to understand that that person who is a Muslim sitting here is a Muslim by accident of history, because his area was colonized by Islam. If his area was colonized by Christians, probably he will be Christian. And so, and his area is a Christian because it is the Christians who came there first. But what are we? We are inherently people, human beings. The girls in schools are born of men and women in circumstances similar to those that are of different faith.
Right.
So let's identify and respect the humanity in all of us first, before we begin to use religious doctrines to subjugate ourselves.